That looks better. There you go.
Pretty much a pro at this thing. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're this like same distance that I am.
Yeah,
So
now it makes much more sense. You can see my
should I have a little like hold
mm.
on. A little,
I
little
do that at
better,
work because
yeah.
my scrubs. I place it like pens and my name tag's right above it.
Do you have Prez right after it?
I do. I do. Different color this time, I think. Welcome everybody to the Glacier Gamble podcast episode something in the 70s. Wow. We're pretty good at this. You know
We
what they
may
do,
not be good at it, much like
quantity over quality, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, some channels will give you that. Some other channels will give you quantity over quality. We give you both.
We
Give you both.
I can guarantee we give you one of the two for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'll tell you, we give you both, but we can guarantee one.
Right. Right.
Today, we had a couple sports episodes, went back to Marvel, DC, that sort of thing. Today is a sports one. Uh, fitting. I got a Steelers shirt on, but
I'm
we're
wearing
not
all
talking.
black, no pants on.
Okay, because the
So
Wolves got pantsed, and now it's like a funeral. I get it. I get it. But yeah, we're from Minnesota, and we focus mainly on Minnesota sports. We both like basketball. We both played
yes,
basketball for a long time.
exactly. We
And
sat
then
on the bench a long time too.
right, the bench, you've never seen a warmer bench. My ass was
Exactly.
hot.
Yeah. Damn
And
right.
yeah, NBA trade deadline came, went. A lot of players came and went. And
Um,
you know, if you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, I've seen all spectrums of emotion.
yeah, I've seen a little. I'm sure I experienced all spectrums of emotion with this one.
So
Um,
for those who follow the Glacier Gamble Twitter account, um, the Rudy Gobert trade when it happened, there may have been an extremely long, angry tweet
sure.
from the account, um, and I did think the team needed more changes.
I think just before you get there, I
Sure.
think the Rudy trade um is more. I don't know how to say this. I think if you were to say like the trade is right, like the trade's even, whatever, and then there's the middle, which would be like about 50-50. Um, I think the Rudy trade so far, the Rudy trade so far, um, it's been an experience. I think he is underutilized. I also think there's a lot of coaching issues. I used to love Finchy, but now I'm like he makes some weird decisions
He does.
during
He
the
does.
game. And I think Rudy Gobert can be utilized more. And I think that takes us kind of into this trade deadline one, which I think is less the more you look at it, it's less like volatile, I guess, if that's a good word for it. But
Yeah, it's
keep
a move
going.
for the future for sure.
Right.
They got rid of D'Angelo Russell now, which again, if you followed this podcast for a while, he's one of our favorites.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite Timberwolves player
You
right
can't say
now.
that now.
Yeah, I can't. No. So,
I think it's had to be done because D'Lo said he wants a max. The Wolves weren't willing to give him one.
we don't have the money to
So
give him one either. Like we
right,
got
so
Ant and Jaden on the horizon.
I don't think the
Um,
Lakers are going to sign him either. So I
sure,
think this is a rental for the year. This is the Lakers thinking if we can at least make the playoffs, we got LeBron. We'll be able to get
sure,
far in the playoffs if we make it
sure,
there. Um, I don't think he's staying there. And I don't think the Wolves would have kept him. So this was their way of giving something over nothing.
sure.
But I also take that the other side of that coin is that means they're admitting this season might not be one where they think they can win it because you're getting rid of probably the best shooter in the NBA since the new year started.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
Um, and many people are showing statistically he is the best point guard since the new year in
Right.
terms of scoring.
Right.
is just insane, and I think
It's
getting rid
it's
of
a
that,
hard pill to swallow, but I
yeah,
think it's a pill you had to swallow.
yeah, exactly.
And
Yep.
so yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do something else. But I also don't mind the pieces they got back. Like Kanye's deal is not fully guaranteed
But it
next
is
year.
longer.
Yeah, it's an extra year, but it's also not fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Conley as a player.
No,
Um, we were very into him. Given like 5 years ago, we would have been like we would jump on the table for Mike Conley. But yeah,
it's fit over talent.
yeah,
D'Lo, I think, is the better player, but I think Mike Conley might fit Anthony Edwards better.
yeah,
Seems like a move we're building around Anthony Edwards and building for the future, getting some assets back.
right,
And well, my initial reaction is I said, who is going to be the dumb team that just helps the Lakers for no reason? Like,
right,
who's going to undervalue their players and help the Lakers for no reason? And I said that what ended up being the Wolves, because I think they could have gotten a little bit, I don't know, not necessarily more,
sure,
but maybe slightly better.
yeah. The
I
Jazz
don't,
probably could have gotten a little bit more too.
right.
So I think,
It's just everybody helped out the Lakers. You
right,
gave them Vanderbilt, you gave them Beasley, you gave them
right,
D'Lo, you gave them
right.
like
They did have to
Mo
give up
Bamba.
that.
You got rid of Russ Westbrook. You got rid of Patrick Beverly. Like you're just
Right,
why
right,
why are all these Rui Hachimura? You're all these teams are like quick help the Lakers get to the
right.
playoffs. Like what is
Yeah,
happening? This is New England Patriots every year.
yeah,
When they
yeah.
had Tom Brady, that was always like, oh, they got some random 6-year veteran right in his prime for the minimum. Oh, nice,
Right.
nice. The team traded
Um,
him. Nice. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people were very kind of concerned right off the bat because they didn't know what like we got
right.
total. Like, so they originally said it was just Mike Conley in a second. I think everyone was like freaking out there, but no, it's Mike Conley, Nikhil Alexander
I
Walker, who
like
is a
nah,
yeah. Nah. No, I do too. He basically I
nah.
looked up his highlights and all of it was X amount of points with a lot of threes.
For
So
those wondering, he's currently 40% from the field, 48%, or sorry, 48% from the field, 40% from three.
yeah, so he's a good shooter, and I think Mike Conley's around 37 right now this
He's
year.
more of a mid-range guy, which
Yeah,
fits in with our team.
right. I think Mike Conley also helps with Rudy a bit. He kind of knows how to unlock Rudy to like his effectiveness. So I think that'll help. He's a vet, which we probably needed because everyone on our roster is like 20 and on a two-way contract.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm
So
okay with Mike Conley. I like Alexander Walker. Hopefully he can. I don't the amount of money they freed up was like 8.66 extra mil, which is right around kind of what Nas wants, is like the 8 to 10 range. It apparently is what Nas wants.
okay.
So like losing D'Lo, getting Mike Conley, getting Nikhil Alexander Walker, getting 3 seconds, and then which Conley has shown to have good drafting in the seconds. He found Nikola Jokic and some other people. And possibly being able to extend Nas, I think that's a win. And if you get Nikhil Alexander Walker to fill the Jalen Noel role, I don't think Jalen's back next year. So
No, I would like
um
him back, but I don't think he's a necessary piece.
sure. And so maybe Nikhil Alexander Walker fills that void next year.
Yep.
So
I thought there was two huge, like this to me. This Wolves trade wasn't. We brought it up. We don't need to talk about Gobert. It's happened. Like
right.
I already brought it up. That's all that we need to say about it.
I'm just gonna say everyone who's saying like the Walker Kessler thing, Luca Garza cooked him last night.
He did.
Like cooked him. So
Um,
the Jazz traded for the wrong center, is what I'm saying. Like they traded for the wrong white
so
center.
the first huge headline from this to me, Bryn Forbes is gone.
Yes, that is huge.
That's huge.
That is huge.
Huge. That's
I showed
6
you the
minutes of guaranteed negative plus minus off
just
the books.
garbage. Just
so,
and he cooked in preseason. Like he was like 20 points per game in the preseason. And it's like, all right, this guy can ball. And then all of a sudden he gets to the
as
regular
long as there's no
season.
starters or bench players in the game, he is gonna destroy.
Right.
So if any team's looking for a G League player, or if somebody's looking to score 30 points in China.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying if they're looking for a G League captain, we have one of those on our team. Just saying.
We
just
do
saying.
in Luka Garza.
Yeah, the better Luka in the NBA. But
the other major storyline, though, the serious one that I do I have genuine concern. This was my first thought. Is I think this is a sign that Karl Anthony Towns may be moved this offseason.
Could be. It could be. You could also how I also saw it too was you look at the starters. You got Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert, and then in between them, you've got Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Karl Anthony Towns. So I think if you have two vets outside of your core, I can also see that as well. So
right,
yeah, that's also how I saw it. Especially if you get like good price tags on like Jordan McLaughlin and Kyle Anderson and Naz Reid and Luka Garza's on a cheap contract. So you got depth, I guess. Torian Prince is only making $7 million a year. So yeah, well, I don't know. That's how I see it. But I can also see Cat being moved.
And on the topic of Cat being moved, I got this vision, and I know exactly what's going to happen. All right. So for those of you who don't know, LeBron James just passed all-time Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scoring record, and it didn't really feel like that big of a deal. Like it didn't seem like it was that celebrated. And so it's like, do people really like our young fans? Do they really think LeBron's great? Because there seems to be a lot of hate towards him.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's popular to hate LeBron. It's popular to say he's not even in my top 5. Sure, that's ridiculous. But anyway, so what's something that would guarantee greatness? What's something that would guarantee?
I think I know what you're going with this.
What if he brought a championship to the worst franchise in sports history?
I don't think we are anymore, but because we did win some.
But I'm just speaking out of honesty, not out of statistics. But Karl Anthony Towns, if he is being moved, they're saying like you'd have to get a max slot guy because you'd have to. Sure. The money would have to work. He'd probably have to have multiple years on his deal. Right. You're probably going to end up with the older player in the trade just because you're going to be getting the picks. But now you might not be getting the picks because
they don't have any picks.
Karl Anthony Towns for LeBron James.
For LeBron James, we'll
Anthony Davis.
Rui Hachimura.
Yeah. For LeBron James, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt.
Austin Reeves.
And so we'll move Cat for LeBron.
It's got to be a 3-team deal. It's got to be a 3-team deal, I think.
That's fine. Eventually, it leads to LeBron winning the championship with the Timberwolves. Never been done before.
Right.
Does it in the West with a horrible team. Coaches up Anthony Edwards,
right.
Like
Bronny James off the bench too.
The Wolves draft Bronny, so he stays with us. So he doesn't leave. And Anthony Edwards has shown he does like the ball, but can play off ball. We know Mike Conley can play off ball.
Right.
He'd be moved on the bench probably because LeBron would be point guard.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And we just
LeBron would instantly move here so he doesn't have to face Jaden McDaniels 3-4 times a year.
Exactly. Jaden would teach LeBron defense.
Yeah, you just stick your hands out. That's all you got to do.
Just try.
LeBron's like, when do I whine? And it's like, you don't. You don't whine? What? No, you don't throw a tantrum. Right.
No. When you send Cat away, that gets rid of the whining and tantrums.
But
But anyway, those are some big trades that like there were some other big trades that went on. I do think Cat is most likely gone this offseason. I would prefer he stayed because he's really, really good.
I think well you could trade Cat at any time. I think, you got 1 year left with Mike Conley next year if he's in the pieces to play out his contract.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think running that team would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think the Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Cat, Gobert.
No, that sounds good.
Right. So yeah, maybe they want to give it 1 more year because you could trade Cat anytime. Like someone, if you just send everyone an email that says, "Hey, Cat might be available," you're going to get offers from most teams. So maybe you try to run it back 1 more year, and then if not,
trade him for LeBron.
Trade him. Yeah. So
trade him
I'm
to
okay,
the
I'm
Suns.
okay with that. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I hope he stays, but if he does, you'll get a huge amount for him.
Right.
You might even get some guys that fit better, so your team ends up performing even better.
Right.
I just think they they had talent, but it's not the amount of talent that you need to win.
Yeah.
Like Cat's good, Ant's good, Gobert's good. I don't think Gobert is like some superstar, so you need another good stud next to him like Cat. But Anthony Edwards now needs, like, McDaniels either needs to be able to score more, or the new point guard has to be able to drop 20 on any night or drop 20 assists. Like we're missing some superstar qualities. Like feel like that's what Cat's missing is superstar qualities.
Cat must be close to getting back to.
I hope so.
He's got to be close to getting back. We need the shooting. We need the openness.
We'll see what happens when he comes back.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
But we did mention the Suns.
Yeah,
the Suns made a
what
trade
did they
at
do?
midnight for Kevin Durant. Which after they traded Kyrie, I feel like it was kind of obvious they were going to be going with like moving KD.
Right. Yeah.
I figured they would have moved more than just that because it seemed like they were willing to just give up anybody, take anybody in return, and not even sign those guys.
Right.
Like Jay Crowder was involved in the deal. They didn't even sign Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder's a buck now.
Yeah, I know. They got 5 seconds for him. Everyone's tossing out 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. 5 seconds for James Wiseman.
I know. And then they'd use those 5 seconds to trade for Gary Payton the second. Like they just everyone's throwing around 5 seconds. It's nuts.
So weird. It's so 2K like.
I know.
And there was also some other trades, like the big one was KD for Cam
KD
Johnson,
was a big one. Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, 4 picks and 1 swap or something like that.
Yeah. So they now have what? Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas,
Ben Simmons, and Nick Claxton.
Yeah. That's honestly, that's not bad, but it's also not like, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's
it's like which one of those guys are they going to trade for a first at the deadline next year? Like, you know what I mean? Which playoff team's going to want one of them?
Spencer Dinwiddie's always the guy who's sent to he's just sent everywhere. Right. He's back. He's just going to move into his old place.
Right.
He still had it just in case.
Right.
Next, they're going to trade for Jarrett Allen.
Right.
Just
Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, and Karis LeVert are on the same team. They're both on the Cavs, so they could get them both.
Trade back.
Joe Harris somehow is still on the Nets. I don't know.
Well, you can't move that. He sucks. When I was in the hospital, I watched the Nets game.
He was good, and then he knocks down 42% of open threes. Nice. What's he doing now? 26.
Well, he was it was in the bubble where he exploded, and everybody's like, "Oh, you got to sign him." When I was in the hospital, I watched a Nets game, and Joe Harris missed 4 threes in a row, including an air ball or a brick. And I was like, this is every game I watch of the Nets is Joe Harris missing threes.
Yeah.
I don't get how somebody like that got paid. Bertans got this huge money because he made 5 threes in a game. It's like, oh my God.
Duncan Robinson
Right.
18 mil a year. Good lord.
If you're a white dude and you make a bunch of threes in a single game, you're gonna get paid. Because
Right.
you're just like, oh my god, it's the next Kyle Korver, it's the next
Right.
Mike Miller.
Right.
No, these guys, some of these guys just get lucky. Like they're the opposite of Luke Kennard. Like
Right.
he's never getting his payday, but he's always gonna be on a roster because he's just
Right.
consistently like slightly above average shooter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But these guys eventually, like when their big contract that they got is over, they're out of the league. Like they're the
Right.
Chandler Parsons. Where are
Yeah.
you gonna go when your
God,
contract
Chandler
is done?
Parsons. His deal was so bad.
But yeah, speaking of bad deals, I think that the Utah Jazz did not make some great deals.
Right.
And I thought that the Brooklyn Nets made some bad deals.
Sure.
I thought the Hawks should have moved on from John Collins. Like,
Yeah.
how many years does he have to tell you he doesn't want to be there? Like,
Right.
the fact that he's still playing and producing
Right.
when he is finally done with his contract in Atlanta, somebody's going to give him a huge deal because at least he's
Right.
loyal. Like, he hasn't
Right.
sat out. He's not demanding a trade. Like,
Sure.
he could do the Kyrie or James Harden thing.
There's
and
like
sit
some
down.
scheme fits there too. Like they don't. Do they want to go like front court heavy or do they want to go like back court heavy? It's very confusing because like they went and got Capella, they signed him to a big deal, and then it's like he's just kind of like a weird fit there. And
I
same
think
with
they
John
need what the
Collins.
Cavs have. They needed Jarrett Allen. Blanking on their other stud's name, the other big guy. Why I'm mad.
Know this.
I'm mad, dude.
It goes Darius Garland.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. God, I don't know.
Yeah,
his brother's on the team too. His brother's on the team too. We know what we're talking about.
Right. But we need that's what I feel like that's what the Hawks need. He was gonna be like rookie of the year, or he was like second place votes
like
for
defensive player of the year. I'll give you Mobley, Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley. Thank you. That was like a brain itch.
I know. His brother's on the team too, so it's not like
Coutinho.
What's his name? I don't know. Like we knew his name because we know his brother's on the team, but
right. But that's what I feel like the Hawks need. Like if they could have moved, if they could swap John Collins out and Capella for two like trees that play defense but can score.
Yeah.
Like because I feel like you just have Trae Young hide behind them. And like what are people gonna do? You just run like 4 picks in a row with all the trees, and Trae Young like runs between the legs and just every time. If you're really gonna build around Trae Young as your primary scorer, I think you surround him with trees, and every night that he's on, you win. Every night that
would be a great fit for them. Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, that would have been a good
Mikal Bridges. Well, Mikal Bridges fits on any team, to be honest. Like
he's super underrated.
Really good. Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
But apparently so the Suns, the Nuts.
Yeah.
They
combine the Suns and the Nets. The
Nuts.
Or the Sets.
No, fuck set. No, but
Aphelios what?
So yeah, Mikal Bridges is now, I think, gonna be a more focus.
He's probably the best player on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I think that's that's fair. He's definitely better than Simmons.
Yeah.
Better than Claxton. He's better than Dinwiddie.
Yeah. Not better than Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas.
I was gonna say Cam Thomas might be the best.
He's been balling. He's
over 3 games, averaging 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, I'm glad for him. He's gonna be a new focus, and I really hope the Nets succeed. You hear KD complaining, you hear Kyrie complaining. This place, I'm glad he got out of there.
Their coach is good too. Like
Jacques Vaughn.
Yeah, he's really like he listens to the players. He's
from the Popovich tree.
Yeah,
I really hope that I'm rooting so hard for the Nets. Now I think their GM's an idiot, but I really want that team of it's basically all these guys that are getting passed around.
Right.
Like I held back a comment there about getting passed around. Let it pass. Okay, move on. There was also some other things, but I think Mikal Bridges. I really hope he's like becomes like a 25 a night guy.
Does
Cam
the
Thomas is 20
Yeah,
something
so
night.
I don't know. I like Nick Claxton, but he's very kind of niche.
Yeah,
I would try um this
like
is gonna sound
Jarrett
horrible
Allen.
again. I would try to move Ben Simmons in the offseason.
Yeah,
I would also try to move Spencer Dinwiddie
yeah,
in the offseason. And kind of if you're gonna have a core, I mean Nick Claxton can still develop. Mikal Bridges is really good, and Cam Thomas can still develop. So and
yeah,
Cam Johnson can fit in at the four. He cooked the Wolves when we played the Suns. So
yeah. He did.
if only he was a Wolf at one point.
Yeah,
That would
that'd
have
be
been
pretty
nice.
cool.
Jeez. What's this Cam Johnson guy? Oh, well, we had him 2 years ago.
Okay, so a couple of the ones I didn't hear about till today. By the way, I
Sure.
didn't realize Matisse Thybulle got traded.
Yep. To Blazers.
Yeah, to the
Yeah.
Trailblazers.
They didn't do anything.
There was a 3-team deal there
They had
that
a
got.
horrible. Yeah. They did not have a good deadline. They didn't do
I don't
anything to
think
help.
anybody wants to go there. It's genuine. Like people want to play with those players, but they'd rather Dame come to them. They don't
For
want to go to
sure.
Port, which I don't get it.
Right.
Oregon's awesome,
Right. Yeah.
but none
Jalen
of like Josh
McDaniels.
Hart, eh.
Jalen McDaniels to the Sixers.
Yeah, that was part of the same
Everyone,
trade.
everyone was like, "Oh my god, I read this wrong." Like as a Wolves fan, my heart sank, and I was like, "Yeah, that's his
Yeah,
brother. That's his brother. Relax."
and could you imagine the Sixers like the Wolves trade with the Sixers and they give up McDaniels?
God,
We'd be like the Wolves fans would be calling for like, all right,
yeah,
get Roger or A Rod out of there. Get
yeah. Lori, like
get all of they. It would be get rid of
Target
them all.
Center would burn down.
Yeah. Not necessarily just because it was Jade McDaniels, but to the Sixers.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of
We
all
don't
the
like
teams,
Philadelphia. They're just
no.
the worst fans. There's another trade. I don't know if you're gonna get to it or not, but John Wall got traded back to the Rockets.
Yeah, he did.
That poor guy. I wouldn't even show up. They'd be like, "All right, we need you to come in." He'd be like, "No."
Right. So I was thinking today because like you truly don't realize how like these people's lives are in the controls of these teams.
Right.
Like
On
who
his
has
exit interview, he was like, "It's trash. It was complete trash." That's what he said about his time in Houston.
yeah, and now he's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that sort of like lack of control that he has to go back to this place. He had no choice in it.
Right.
And now like if he
Clippers did
doesn't
him
play,
dirty
he's
too.
viewed as the bad guy.
Yeah, Clippers did him dirty too.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like who has the most like messed up career out of that? Like that's why I started thinking, like, is there anybody in NBA history that I can think of that had a career like John Wall, where they like went well, they injured themselves, or they got an injury,
right.
they were still good, but then they started getting like moved around, and then went to a team
Blackballed for 2 years and couldn't
blackballed
play.
for some reason.
They wouldn't allow him to play even though he was healthy.
And then he goes to another team that like doesn't play him, or they play him like bench minutes. And then
Right.
they send him to a team that says they're going to use him and they don't. Then he goes
Uh,
back to the team that blackballed him. I
yeah.
can't think of another player that
It's
anything like
been
this has
very
happened to him.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
so
It's very
weird.
bizarre. Yeah. Because even
And I
like
feel
Westbrook
bad for
played,
him.
even like Westbrook played, kind of
Yeah.
similar to him, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's very bizarre.
It's not like he's terrible, right? Like this
No.
isn't a like this is what people say about like Russell Wilson. Like it's just not possible for somebody to have that big of an incline. Like this isn't what Russell Wilson's going to be the rest of his career. There's no way John Wall is
You
that
hope.
just fell off this cliff and this is like
Right.
he's just trash for the rest of his basketball career. I guarantee he shoots and he practices his jump shot still. I'm sure he can pass the ball.
See those, those. I mean, they're very. It's a very similar like archetype to the player they are. You know, like John Wall, Russell Westbrook, Jaws, kind of in that mix
I
a
would
little
put
bit
Ja in that
too.
mix. Yeah.
But
When they shoot
yeah,
it, you're always questioning it. You're never confident it's going in.
your people aren't, your wings aren't crashing the boards; they're taking off. Like, yeah. I don't know. I'd say John Wall's similar, Westbrook similar, where they shoot it and you're like, all right, I can kind of cheat a little bit. Like
Derrick Rose, similar.
right, D Rose, yeah. They have nights where they don't miss, like D Rose with his 50-point night for the Wolves. Like they have nights where they just don't miss, and that's
And
You're just on like they're
except
basketball
and
players.
then like with D Rose, everywhere he's gone, every team, all the fans want to keep him.
Right.
Everywhere he's gone, the fans are like, keep him, keep him, keep him. When
Yeah.
John Wall, it's like, oh no, get out of here. We don't
Right.
want you.
Go back to Houston.
Wizards go away. Houston say go away. Clippers go away.
Yeah.
Like, if John Wall wants to play for the Wolves on the minimum, come on in. We'll put
Right.
we'll put you on the roster.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, if you're gonna put him on your team, play him minutes. There's no way guys like
Yeah.
Bryn Forbes are getting minutes when John
Right.
Walls are
Yeah.
on the bench.
Right.
It's
For
so
sure.
dumb.
Yeah. Right. Or like Kendrick Nunn. Like,
Right.
how is Kendrick Nunn getting minutes?
But John
He's
Wall
been
can't get 6
horrible.
minutes.
Right.
John Wall can't
Yeah.
get 12 minutes.
Yeah. Lakers should look into him, honestly.
They did this offseason, but they refused to give up picks. They wanted Russ and a first, and they refused throwing a first.
Yeah, you're right. We also said that on the Glacier Gamble podcast. Is the Lakers should look to trade for him, but
so
another
there's
thing
some
we've done
frustrating
there.
trades, some good trades. The main focus is Minnesota Timberwolves. What's gonna happen now? They're still in the playoff race.
It's so close. Anything
But
can happen.
though
So
in the West, even with the Lakers getting what they can now, they could genuinely make the playoffs.
right.
I don't think the Wolves are gonna, even if they make the playoffs, I think they're not even making it out of the first round. No matter what seed they are,
Sure.
I don't trust this team. And like there's like right now, I feel like there's 2 players I trust, and that's Ant. But even then, I think Ant's sloppy, and Jaden McDaniels, and
Right.
Jalen's out of control.
Right.
Like, he's a super good defender.
Yeah,
but
his offensive game is still developing. Sure.
He plays like the 6th man in high school that's trying to become the starter. He looks like he's trying so hard to impress everybody,
right?
That sometimes he just does
he's still working on his like handling and stuff, but he
tries
does
to
make
jump
a lot of
pass and lets the guy go by.
Sure.
That sort of thing.
Sure.
Thinking you're doing the right thing, but it ends up messing you up. I feel like that's him right now.
Sure.
Ant, when I watch him, he's just sloppy. I don't know any other thing. He's just sloppy.
Right.
Which I think that shows in our free throw numbers. Everybody on the team roughing free throws. We're just a really sloppy team. We've been sloppy for like 20 years.
Yeah.
That was our problem with K Love. Like when Kevin Love teams, we'd be at the game and I'd be like, this is like watching high school ball.
Yeah.
Like we're such a sloppy team and I don't know why. And then I
don't
trust Rudy Gobert.
Coaching, maybe.
We've had one good coach in the last 20 years.
I want to give Finch credit because he does have the second highest win percentage in Wolves history in the games he's played, or the games he's coached, only behind Flip.
But again, that points out the fact that we've never really had good coaches.
Right. So, I mean, I don't want to give up on Finch, but I also think, like, is it players or is it coaching? So, and I know you're kind of playing with some B. You don't have your starting lineup, right? Like, you don't have your arguably best player. But so yeah, I'm curious to see what happens when Cat gets back. And
I think some of his post-game interviews have sounded a lot like Sam Mitchell.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
They have a lot of similarities.
We're just gotta find guys that have energy. We just gotta find guys who have energy. And it's like, well, you're playing the same guys.
Yep. And then so he sounds defeated. Like he's saying, I'm telling you, I am trying to get these guys energized and they won't. Just like Sam Mitchell was like, I'm telling you, we're doing shooting practice every day in practice and these guys can't hit a shot.
Right.
Like they both just sound like, I'm telling you, it's the players, not me. And I feel like Chris Finch is getting very close to it's them. Stop questioning me on my players. Like he's just getting closer and closer to like he's gonna be the next moment that we see me turned into a meme. Like I feel like he's gonna be that next coaching conference that he just snaps because he really seems to be defeated.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we're so black and white. Like we either have all the effort or zero effort. There's no in between. Like
and all these guys seem to have a reason to try.
Right.
Besides the fact that your paycheck isn't enough for you to try. Like Cat doesn't seem to try unless he's going against one of like Embiid, Jokic. Then all of a sudden he seems to hit the second gear that he doesn't hit against anybody else. When if he hit that second gear against the other centers,
Ant has more consistent efforts, but when he plays Memphis, you can tell he's really trying.
Like I don't like you can have a rival, like go ahead and pick some rivals.
Sure.
But can you please show that effort on other nights?
Yeah, you should be able to blow out the Pistons.
You should. It's the same problem the Vikings had. Like, I don't care that you sometimes beat these good teams when you're almost losing to those bad teams too.
Right, sure.
You should be blowing out bad teams and winning close games with good teams. If you're not doing that, you're probably not a good team. Like, even with your winning against good teams. I don't know. For some reason, some fun little fact here before we go. I had a dream 2 nights before the NBA trade deadline that the Wolves traded Karl Anthony Towns for Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, and 2 first-round picks. And I had woken up to like a text message about that, and then when I was like in my dream, I was like, I bet they wanted OG, and the Raptors said absolutely not.
Sure.
Like I was like rationalizing it in my dream. And when I woke up, I was like, was I dreaming or was I like half awake thinking of what the Wolves are gonna do?
Sure.
Because I swear, like I felt like I was thinking it through and like having that internal discussion.
Right.
But yeah, Wolves trading, and then I was like, so now I'm thinking like this offseason, everybody's saying the Raptors are trying to blow it up. Would that interest anybody? Like to me, that probably.
Here's the thing. So assuming the other moves happen, okay, say the D'Lo move happens. Say the Jakob Poeltl move happens because he's a Raptor now.
Yep.
That makes sense for us. Like a Fred VanVleet, Ant, Jaden, Siakam, Gobert.
Yeah, that would be
on the bench with Mike Conley as the backup point guard.
Yep.
So that's good. Doesn't make sense for the Raptors.
It doesn't.
Not at all.
Nope.
But everything else does, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe if the Raptors, like if we did a sign and trade for Noel, or like we gave him McLaughlin, or something like that. I don't know. It does not. Maybe now that the trade's gone through, maybe we throw in Conley for them.
Maybe 3, like a 4-team trade. Make it crazy. We would want Gary Trent back too, though. We'd want to bring him home. So
home.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, there was some NBA trade deadline talk. Yeah, probably back to Marvel next week, but we'll see. Maybe it's Super Bowl stuff next week.
Yeah, it could be Super Bowl stuff because we are going to see Ant-Man next Saturday.
And I've been working on topics this week, and I did have 2 Marvel topics that I thought of. So we probably will also have like a good idea of what we could do for Marvel next week too.
Okay, yeah. I'll talk to you right after this.
Well, everybody, you all look fantastic. You all look great today. GG.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, I'll